All right, hi everybody. Okay, Trigun Stampede time. What was this episode called? Let me just take a look here. Bright light shining through darkness. This episode went a million miles in the other direction compared to last week. So, this was pretty grim. To the point where I'm like, now, I'm not gonna lie. I have my misgivings about this show. But most of it is just dealing with a character who's missing. They got rid of Millie, and they replaced her with Roberto De Niro. Not Robert De Niro. And that kind of upset me. But last week's episode, I gave it a low rating because obviously the Nebraska family wasn't really doing it for me. Well, apparently this episode corrected that real quick. This was, whoa, we just went full gore. Full gore. And it's like, the animator's like, maybe it's time to remind people why Vash the Stampede is Vash the Stampede. Yeah, let's do that. So, logistically speaking, we left off last week where I explained how, in the end credit scene or something like that, that the son of the Nebraska family got really hurt bad by these bombs. These bombs were made and created by an individual known as E.G. Bomber. Or Easy Bomber. He shows up. Vash attempts, he notices this, Vash, and all these little things walking around, they were created by him, and they're attaching to people. And they're in danger. This is really severe. So, he's able to spot him up on this little cliff area with the, whatever you want to call it over there. And he shoots him a couple of times. He jumps off, and we finally get a look at this guy. I like the way he looks. He looks really vicious looking. This is pretty awesome, this scene. And he says, oh, I'm not the E.G. bomber. I'm the E.G. miner. You know, like mines. So, fight ensues. It's pretty severe. Everyone's convinced that Vash is going to save the day. All that jazz. He eventually gets him at a point when Meryl and Roberto tackle him. The bomb's about to explode. Those bombs on the side. Get him and force him to tell them how to disable. Before that, also, Vash has a little fight with the guy and the inside where the plant is. And that's basically what happens. He disables the bombs. Right as rain. He ties them up. The Nebraska father is pissed off. He wants to kill this dude for killing his son. And blah, 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 blah. So, while this is happening, over in the distance, this guy is, I think he's driving a car. No, he wasn't driving a car. He's walking back away from the town, and he sees this dude with a cloak, and it's like, eventually, after everything's settled, and they got the guy, and he kind of escapes because Nebraska father shoots him with a rocket, and he misses, and he leaves. And Vash hears something. He immediately tells everyone to run. It's his brother, Marion. As reference, I decided to take a look at the original anime. Knives does not show up in episode 3. So, I'm going to take this with a small grain of salt and suggest they are following the manga, and this is going in a good direction. When that's not happening, Knives is playing the piano. The bomber guy goes in there and loses his limbs. Yeah, both his arms, blood splurting over the freaking place. Wow, we really went real deep here, Orange, didn't we? They have altercation, Vash and Knives. Vash is in no way, shape, or form able to fight his brother. It's a losing out. It really is. The episode is filled with so much dread. So much feeling of dread, helplessness, powerlessness. There's nothing. Once Knives shows up, that's it. The idea that the town is going to be saved is at 0% at that point. And then these people show up. These new characters that I don't recognize from the original anime. A doctor and this little girl. So, okay. They show up in this mechanical monkey robot. They confront the other townspeople and says, tell them to stop. You should get out of the way. Basically saying that they have no chance to defeat him. Their plan is done. That's it. I don't remember Knives having this ability, but he has these knives. He literally decimates 2 girls. Cuts them up. And Rose is there, and he has an altercation with his brother again, and he creates this whirlwind of the knives, and he just destroys the rock, the mountain. Gone. He gets Rosa out of there. Her son got really badly hurt. Knives leaves, and his 2 cronies with the 2 plants. I knew from the Trigun anime, the original, there were scenes where Vash was in a very dark place. And it was shown in the original. It was. Not this early, though. Because remember, this is following the manga more closely. At least that's what I was told through what they had stated with our Orange, the animation studio that's doing it, that they were going to follow the manga more closely. Obviously distraught, Rosa tells him to get the fuck out. Doesn't want to leave. Vash, the human-eyed typhoon. Now, he leaves. Of course, Meryl, she following him. Vash, where are you going? Vash. And he says he's going east. That's how the episode ends. This was... I know people are complaining about this show. But this episode, if you do not like this show by this episode, there's something wrong with you. I understand. Listen, I said Millie not being in this show, it kind of irked me. But they're following the manga, as far as I know. And as far as I know, this episode gets a 10 out of 10. Because it showed exactly what Vash has to deal with. It shows the dread and the depression and the anguish and the suffering and everything that encompasses his relationship with his brother and what his brother is doing. He's killing people. He's stealing their plants. It is bona fide Trigun. That's the way I look at it. It's Trigun 100%. You want to complain about the animation. You want to complain Millie's not here. That's fine. But at least give... If you cannot give it a shot after this episode, there is something wrong with you. There really is. Now, he said he's going east. I think town of July. Yeah, I think that's what he said. Town of July. Which I think he goes... That's a different scenario. A different story that goes into it later on in the series. But this is really... I am really shocked by what they did here. And you can tell... The thing about Vash that makes him such a tragic character is that he can't be around people because of his brother, because of the people who work for his brother, because of what happened. So he goes around trying to save towns, but he fails at it, and everything gets destroyed. And he's like the loneliest man on the planet. It was really good. This was a really good episode. I am going to take back what I said. I said that if this show had a lot of missteps, I would drop it. I'm not dropping it. It's not happening. We'll see. I don't know. The only question I have, last thing I want to bring up here, how long until we get to Wolf? That's the real question. I already see he's like on the picture, the poster thing, with the, Crunchyroll, what have you. So he's already in the synopsis. We already know he's going to show up. This is going to be, I think this is going to be very depressing. That's what I think. I think this is going to be one of those, I think with this series, it's going to show you the real underbelly of Trigun and how dreadful it is. And how dreadful Vash's character is. And I already heard bumblings that the dub, we're going to get Vash to play Vash again. So this is going to be really good. I'm still on board, people. Still on board. This is Bob Kind to tell you guys think of just the utter, immense villainy of knives being displayed in this episode. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. This is Bob Kind. I'll see you guys later. I'm on board. I'm not going to say any more negative about this show. I don't think so. Unless they do something really stupid, I think I'm on board for at least until the end of the series. So I'll see you guys later. Peace out.